All right, we are raring to go this morning. It is Thursday, December the 4th, right here at 10 o'clock. That means it's been at 10, your local weather show here for Southern Indiana and beyond throughout Metro Louisville, Kentucky, Ohio Valley. We'll talk about it all. And we'll talk about you too. Feel free to drop in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Even if it's the replay, like to go back and check out some of the comments. So thanks for tuning in here this morning on this cold December-y day out there. We had a cold front move through this morning, basically a reinforcing shot of some cold winter-like air. So we're going to be struggling just to be around the freezing mark for this afternoon. So there won't be much melting going on with what we have out there with this little blanket of snow that we have. And so with the snowpack on the ground, it can allow our nighttime temperatures to drop even more. So we are looking at low 20s for our lows for tonight. And then we should get above freezing tomorrow in the upper 30s. But it is a cold pattern that continues for us. So we're going to talk about that. Maybe a little wintry mix Sunday, Monday still time frame. Doesn't look like a big impact there. And then we're going to take a peek down the road. I think there might be a big mid-December warm-up. Might be brief, but it might be big. And usually when you get a big warm-up this time of the year, it involves some wet weather. So we've got all of that to cover here. We've got your weather jokes. We've got your weather history. We've got all the good stuff that we always have throughout the show as well. So, again, thanks for popping on here this morning. We'll take a quick live look outside our Extol Media Studios, EXTOL. And there you go. We've got the little bit of snow on some of the rooftops here still in uptown New Albany, there at the corner of Vincennes and Market. And our current temperatures hovering around 31 degrees or so. So, definitely on the chilly side across the region. And as we take another live look outside, here's a look at the Falls of the Ohio Foundation cam. So you can find this at fallsoftheohio.org. And again, just kind of gray and gloomy. What we have here is the very thin layer of moisture trapped at probably around 4,000 feet. And I mean, if you stare at it long enough, you get like, there's probably blue sky just behind that. You can almost see a little hint of blue behind the clouds. And so there is blue sky up there, but it's just this little thin trapped moisture layer that we need to try to scour out. So I'm hoping again for some peaks of sunshine for today, but I feel like I'm a broken record. I've been trying to get those peaks of sunshine here for a while. We'll bring up the forecast here right off the bat, and then we'll take a deeper dive, look at some comments, and through about 10:20, typically on the show, we'll do the forecast, and then if you want to hang around, we'll do the weather nerd portion of the show as we take a deep dive into the weather models. But very cold today. Our high temperature at 32 degrees. Not a record cold high temperature. The coldest high temperature for today's date is 26, and that was set back in 2002 when we actually had a decent amount of snow on the ground then. We're going to be looking dry here through Saturday. And if you're in southern Kentucky, you might get a little wintry mix tomorrow morning, but most of our area will be dry. And then late Sunday, early Monday, we might sneak in a few flurries, a little bit of light snow, maybe a little rain mixed in, maybe a little sleet, but it should not be a big impact here for us late Sunday. And then that big question mark, when can we warm up? When can we break out of this winter spell that we've been in? And it looks like they're around the 14th, 15th, the long-range models, the Euro and the GFS, hinting at that bigger warm-up on the way. So we'll take a look at that as well coming up in the full forecast. Looking at some of the comments popping in here from Beverly Hagist. Good morning from Borden, Indiana. Got 29 degrees. That sounds about right. An accurate thermometer there. Big Happy says hello. We're on the second big cup of coffee. John Fox with a good morning there from the Okolona region. And good morning, John. Thanks for tuning in. Good morning. We got 29 from Orlean Whitlow. Cloudy. I hate it. Just want some sunshine. Yeah, it's take the vitamin D kind of weather out there. We need some sunshine. Lois Lewis, good cold morning to you. Thanks for watching and getting in the comments. Carol Payne, Carsus 35 in New Salisbury. That might be on the tad warm side. Seeing numbers a little colder than that. Barbara Haas says Burr, the B-triple-R, but kind of like it. And Dennis Gregory, good morning from Bedford, 27 degrees with another B-triple-R. And Lillian Lasley this morning, good morning, got up at around 30 degrees, still holding steady at 30 degrees. That sounds about right as well. I'm going to fire up some of our current temperatures, and then we'll look ahead again at some of the weather model data and all the other fun stuff that we'd like to get to here on the show as well. Clicking through a few graphics here, and let's bring back up again a look at our weather resources that are here for you all of the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at extolmag.com/weather, extolmag.com/weather. There's my goofy face up right there with the live stream. Thanks for liking or subscribing, by the way, on our Extol Media channel, and or just liking this stream right now, wherever you're watching from, really does help it spread around. So thanks for your like. And here's a look at the 31 degrees, our current temperature. Really cool display here where you can see the sun going up in this arc with the sunrise, the sunset, moon phases, moonrise, moonset, wind gusts, humidity, all of the different weather variables right there. And then we got your daily forecast over the next 7 to 8 days in two different forms. You got your layout on the right side, and then you've got my 7-day forecast right there. And then you've got your hourly forecast, which takes us up to around 32, 33 degrees with a mostly overcast sky. Sorry, Orlean, once again for today. I did just post the brand new weather story, which does have a map of the warm-up potential. It also has the weather history on there. And then looking down here below, it was kind of fun to use the weather and traffic maps. What was that, on Tuesday? This week has been it's been a week, I'll tell you that. Looks like there's a big backup here in Louisville. Let me see what's going on there real quick as we go to the Trimark page. And then we click layers right there. We zoom in. Looks like we've got a crash I-65 north near Crittenden Drive. And so if you got anybody coming into Louisville, downtown Louisville from the south end, from Bullitt County, looks like we've got some heavy traffic in that location with a backup there. So, yeah. Looks like that's got traffic backed up all the way to the airport, it looks like. So there is your traffic report here in Metro Louisville on this Thursday morning. Happy Friday Eve, December the 4th. So again, I'll just mention there's also this interactive map. If you want to play around with this, it's got a lot of different layers on it. I'm going to bring up I like the cloud layer, and it's got the temperatures as well. There you can see the stubborn clouds, but you can see the clearing off to the north. So hopefully we'll get some of that clearing with that light north breeze today. There are dozens of layers here. If you ever want to take a look at like Futurecast and all that good stuff, you can really spend some time here. You hit play in the bottom left corner, and that's going to play out this little tiny wintry mix in southeastern Kentucky tomorrow morning. Most of us are not going to see any impact from that. There you can see that system traveling south of our area for the most part. So again, just want to give you a shout out there to extolmag.com/weather with a lot of resources there for you. Perry Porter, we got a good morning. Heading to Pekin. Get my coffee. I need my coffee. Perry too. Thanks too. I don't know if you know this, but my mom got a list. Perry made a list of all the inventions from like 1900 because my grandma turned 99. And so it was kind of interesting to see what all my grandma lived through as far as inventions every decade through the 20th century. It was kind of cool. So thanks for that list there, Perry. All right, let's move along here. We'll get to the forecast. One more sip from the Big Happy here. And we are going to start to cruise along on this Thursday. Hey, it's almost Friday. I don't know about you, but it's been a long week. Here's a shout out to our partners real quick. Do you think we might have a white Christmas? So Tina, I get that question a lot. I think there's a decent chance this year. I think there's a warm up mid-month, but behind that warm up, I think we get another cold snap. On average, on any given year, it's a 10% chance that we have a white Christmas. So I'm saying there's a chance. All right. I do want to give a shout out to our partners here for allowing us to do what we do. Lyons Roofing, Lyons, roofingco.com. Definitely make sure things are looking good on your rooftop and your gutters, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. You got free estimates here online, or very quickly, you can just give them a call, 812-294-3595. They've got you covered on both sides of the river throughout Louisville Metro, and they do commercial, residential, and they can help you with the finances as well. And they work directly with your insurance and whatever you need to try to make it work out there for you. They've also got a career section. We always like to talk about opportunities here in Southern Indiana and beyond. So there is a roofing repair technician job opening there. Speaking of opportunities, you may want to level up and try something new or begin something new. They are going to make it easy for you, as easy as possible. So you go to ivytech.edu, go to locations, go to Sellersburg. And there's also something I want to mention here that they're doing for their students and the children of their students. They've got the Angel Tree program in Fowl Hall, PFAU, Fowl Hall. And we're going to talk about that here in just a second. So great folks here at the Sellersburg campus, dozens of programs that you can check out. Tuesdays at the Tech, you can get one-on-one information on how to, pay for your post-secondary education. Maybe you're getting dual credit in high school. Maybe you can even go to 2 colleges at once. So again, making things really accessible to our community, empowering the workforce here in Southern Indiana. So shout out to our friends at Ivy Tech Community College and my buddy Michael Long here with American Family Insurance, amfam.com. Search Michael Long. It'll take you to this page right here. He's given our family a lot of discounts in several different ways, and you can find out too. They've actually had price reductions with their auto renewals. He can get you hooked up with life insurance and all different kinds of products at your fingertips here. So proud to be an American Star certified agency. Excellence in customer experience is Michael Long's agency, 812-578-3072. So again, thanks to our partners there. All right, we are moving right along. Let me bring this back up to the stage. I shared this yesterday. We've had 2 million views over the last 28 days. So I say that's a success. Thank you so much for tuning in to all of our content here on whether it's Facebook or we're on all the different platforms. And so thank you very much for watching. If you ever want to have a weather question or you want to learn about advertising and marketing solutions for your business, you can contact me, Ben, at xtolmag.com. Also, NWSB has a food drive, or I should say you can just drop off any non-perishable items at any NWSB location. This is for REACH food program for kids, canned food, non-perishable items, snacks, dry cereals, one way to help out. Also, this Saturday morning, so the program begins at 8 a.m. at Tom Sawyer Park. This is the Jingle Bell Run. There's time to sign up, jbr.org/Louisville. You can Google Jingle Bell Run Louisville, you'll find it. But the race is at 9 a.m. The weather looks good, chilly as usual. But before that, you don't have to be cold. It's indoors at Tom Sawyer Park. And there's booths and there's prizes and on fun stuff. We got Christmas holiday music going on. I'll be hosting if you want to join us out there at the Jingle Bell Run. So there it is. So I stopped by Ivy Tech, Fowl Hall. Right there in the entrance is the Angel Tree. So you take one of those tags right there, and the tag is going to have the child's age, gender, shoe size, and clothing size. Maybe they want clothing, maybe they want gift cards, maybe it's some toys. But that's one way that you can help the children of the students that go there at Ivy Tech if you're looking to help out this time of the year. All right, let's get to the forecast. Got a couple more comments popping in. John just says, nice thought there, Mr. Porter. All right. Here we go. We're digging into the forecast. So again, very cold, dry through Saturday, maybe a little light mix Sunday. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. And then we're going to look at a warm up down the road. Here's our stupid weather jokes of the day. It's colder than me, Ben Peine, in brass shorts sitting on the shady side of an iceberg. Now, that joke gets a little dirtier. It gets a little past the PG-13 if you actually look at the original joke. You got to be careful with these it's colder than jokes. It's colder than skinny dipping in a snowstorm. There's also it's cold as a polar bear's pajamas or a penguin's tuxedo. That's a PG joke. And I made this one up. It's colder than Rudolph's nose on Christmas Eve. All right. It's cold out there is what we're saying. Here's our weather history. Check this out. This is some cool stuff here. 1887. You don't think of tropical weather in December, but there were 2 tropical systems in 1887. I don't even know how they knew about it. We didn't have satellites back then, I guess, shipping. But very rare. One dissipating near the Bahamas and then another one forming in the North Atlantic. That's kind of weird. 1998, we had record high temperatures, a record high of 72 in Louisville. Many regional sites set records, including, again, 72 degrees in our backyard. In 2002, check this out. There's a winter storm in the Carolinas, but this also impacted our area. There's damaging ice accumulation, snow, and sleet in the Carolinas. But for us in 2002, record cold and snow. We had a record cold high temperature of 26 degrees on this date in 2002. I don't know if you guys remember that, but, it could be worse than what we have here today. And they had a record amount of snowfall for today's date at 3.6 inches back in 2002. And how many days? 17 until winter begins. Christmas, 21 days. Time change in 94 days. And we get those later sunsets in early March, and springtime in late March, and 106 days away. It'll come soon enough. Our forecast today, right around freezing. We might see some city spots that get around 33, but just a simply cold day, maybe some peaks of sunshine we're hoping for, and just a light breeze from the north at around 5 to 10. And our sunset at 5:22. We're in the middle of the earliest sunsets of the year, and after December 12th, we'll start to see gradually later sunsets. 22, our low for tonight. Sun up at 7:44, just a light breeze, mostly cloudy overnight. Mostly cloudy tomorrow as well. It's going to be sunnier north, cloudier south. There's a little wintry mix that could happen around the Cumberland Parkway in southern Kentucky, but most of the area is going to be dry tomorrow. So after a frigid start, we're going to try to get above freezing with a light south breeze tomorrow with a high of 38. Our normal high is 50. So today we're running 15 to 20 degrees below normal, and our normal low is 34. Our sun up at 7:44, sunset again at 5:22 tomorrow. Here is the 7-day forecast here for us with quiet weather through Saturday, maybe a little wintry mix Sunday into early Monday. Most of the weather models show a little something coming through. Not a big system, should not be a big impact for us. Thank you, Lillian, with loving the jokes here this morning. And so quiet and chilly early next week. And then by the middle of next week, maybe a little bit warmer. I got 47 going Wednesday. It's sad that is what we consider warmer now. We've really had to readjust our perspective with this long cold pattern that we've had. And I saw something out there that our late November, early December start is like one of the coldest in 100 years or something like that. I forget, but this is definitely an abnormal cold spell that we have across the region. All right, with that said, we're coming up to 10:18, 10:20 almost. A couple looks outside. Let's look at the weather model data and really start to dig into all of that fun stuff. So we get rid of this and bring up this. So this is another cool look at the cloud cover. This is the visible satellite. It also shows here, this is very interesting. So, all right, pay attention here, okay? Visible satellite. What is very cold on the visible satellite, it will show as clouds. So what you're going to see here is the snow on the ground with the visible satellite, and you're going to see the rivers where there is no snow. So take a close look at this. This is the visible satellite. And we got a clearing to the north, but it looks like a lot of clouds over Illinois and Indiana, but there's actually a clearing there, and we're looking at the ground. So notice all the little rivers. That is all the snow that is on the ground. So we're looking at the snowpack there with the satellite. So just something cool that I wanted to show you guys, and another look at the cloudy conditions that we have with currently around 31 degrees, upper 20s, low 30s in most locations currently right now. So the radar and satellite, as we look at the big view here, there's actually a big area of high pressure. If you guys remember, a high pressure is a large area of sinking air and dry weather, and the air flows out and around high pressure. So that's why we have this light north breeze. And then we've got a southern system tracking here, and that is going to clip parts of southern Kentucky here tomorrow morning with maybe a little bit of a wintry mix. But again, we're going to be pretty dry. Also, if you're in the middle of high pressure, there is no wind. And this high pressure has actually acted like a lid with this slow sinking air. And it's trapped this little thin layer of moisture. And that's why we have these stubborn clouds. We just can't mix them out. It's just been kind of keeping us gloomy out there. So that's kind of it acts like a lid, puts a lid on that little thin layer of moisture. And that's why we still have a lot of clouds around the region. And as we take a little closer zoom in here, speaking of the cloud cover, again, we're starting to see some clearing up around Bloomington. So there is some hope for at least some peaks of sunshine out there for today. Let me get out of the full screen mode and let's go ahead and pop in the weather model data here. And we'll look at the future radar. I'm just going to stop this like Friday morning just to show you that little. If you have any travel southbound tomorrow, you may run into just a little bit of a light wintry mix. I don't even think they're going to put a winter weather advisory out for it because it's just going to be a very low impact event as that moves through. All right, let's see if this will load up here for us. All right, it's already on this model. It's already zipped off to the east. So maybe I got to go this. Maybe I got to go a little bit earlier. Let's go like 2 a.m. and see if this will pop up. The system is not far off to the southwest as it is right now. That's 2 o'clock in the morning. So notice there is a little bit of snow towards the Appalachians in southeastern Kentucky. And then let's go, I don't know, let's just go 11 p.m. tonight. Maybe it's sneaking in a little bit sooner. So this is a system that'll stay south of our area, but there you can see some of that mixed precip. I'd say Cumberland Parkway south is the best chance maybe to see a little bit of snowflake activity here later on tonight. So this is around 11 p.m. tonight. Got that little mix moving through. So it'll stay south of Indiana and mostly a central southeastern Kentucky kind of a little wintry mix tonight, early tomorrow morning. Beyond that, let's go ahead and jump ahead because we're quiet for the rest of this week. We're going to need to jump to Sunday, the 7th. So let me go to, let's go say 1 o'clock. The trend has still been, now this is Monday. Let me go to the 7th. The GFS is a little sooner, a little more eager with our Sunday system than the other models. There's a little bit of snow there that you can see developing to our north. That's at 1 p.m. Sunday. I would doubt there would be a winter weather advisory for this system as it looks pretty wimpy to me. And it looks maybe like just kind of drizzly and then maybe sneaking in a snowflake. There you can see that tiny little wintry mix here at 4 p.m. Sunday. And then let's go a little bit later Sunday. Let's go to 10 p.m. Sunday. And it's already got it kind of moving off to the east. So I really don't think this is going to be a big deal. There's not a lot with that. Just a very light precip kind of thing late Sunday, maybe early Monday. And the models are kind of getting in a little bit more agreement with that. The Euro is just a little bit later. I would call it a nuisance and not a big problem for us with that system. Now, let's go ahead and go to, I think it's Wednesday would be the next system next week on the 10th. So I don't see any big storms is kind of what I'm saying. So we're now going to Wednesday, the 10th of December. And there we see another little wintry mix trying to develop. That's at 7 a.m. Wednesday. And we'll go to 10 o'clock Wednesday. And perhaps, again, a little snow initially, a little bit of rain. I don't think this will be a big impact. I think we're going to be well above freezing for this Wednesday midweek event. And there will be some fine-tuning as we get closer to that, as that it's about a week away. So I would say still a little bit of an active weather pattern, just not big systems. So just that little wimpy one Sunday, late Sunday especially. Another one could come in Wednesday. Okay. Now, I think, the bigger news, if you're tired of the winter weather, is when will Old Man Winter leave our area? When will he get the hell out of here? If you're tired of the cold weather. Well, there you can see the cold weather for now. This is still over the region. This is through the 10th. And really cold air centered to our north, but we're kind of on the edge of it, keeping us chilly. Jet stream still kind of diving south and allowing that air to spill in to the Ohio Valley. But of course, it is much more frigid for our friends to the north. If you want to go live in Alaska, you're dealing with negative 20s, negative 30s. So really that is the heart of the cold air coming across the North Pole from Siberia. But when do we see a change? So let's stay out here kind of on the global mode, and let's look ahead. I'm going to jump ahead to like the 13th. So what is the 13th? That's Saturday the 13th. And I believe on the 13th at the Jeffersonville Museum, I'm going to be talking about snow. If you guys want to join me there, Saturday. I think it's around 1 or 2 p.m. I'll let you know ahead of time. Little presentation on some snow around then. All right, so here's the 13th. Boom, there's the warm-up. Look at the orange, look at the yellow. What is going on here? So this would definitely be a change in the jet stream, a surge in the warm weather, and the cold weather retreats to the north. What is driving a change like that? Well, you have to get a pretty good shift in the jet stream, and the jet stream, take a look, is lifting north. No longer do we have the northwest flow. We're getting that jet stream to retreat to the north. That jet stream, that ribbon of air around 30,000 feet, it will lock cold air north, warm air south. So if that jet stream goes north, we start to get a warm up. Let's see if that continues to happen as we go into the 14th afternoon. So this will be Sunday next weekend. And we are briefly on the warm side. This is showing some 50s and 60s. What would that balmy feeling feel like? So there we go. But I will say, when you get a warm up this time of the year, it typically comes with a price in the form of rain. Almost always, if you get 60s, you're going to pay with some rain this time of the year. So let's take a look at the reflectivity, which is the rainfall. And there you go. It matches up with some rain right around the 14th, 15th time frame right there. Now, this looks like it could be a short-lived warm-up around the 14th, 15th, as right behind that system, the jet stream likely takes another dive our direction, and the cold air begins to spill back in. I am now going to the 16th of December, so we're heading past mid-month, and there you go. This is showing highs in the 20s and 30s around the 16th. So it may only be a few day warm up before the chill returns to the region. And so look at that. And that would be why right there. So the jet stream lifted north for a couple days, and then boom, opens the door back up to Old Man Winter returning. Santa might be practicing his routes with the cold air right around the 16th. Okay, back to the temperature map. And you know what? Since we're looking this far out, you know what it is. It is. Time for me to take a coffee drink. Been on a limb. We're going out on a limb. But there you can see cold air returning to the area. Some folks were asking about a white Christmas. If this cold weather lingers, maybe that'll give us the chance of that white Christmas. And when you get a northwest flow, you can start to get into a clipper pattern. Clipper systems, you may have heard of clippers or Manitoba maulers or Saskatchewan screamers. They're all systems that come in from Canada and can drop, around 1 to 3 inches of snowfalls. Usually not a big snow. They come in and clip on by very quickly. And there you can see with that cold air, it looks like maybe a little clipper there. That's just showing around the 17th. So maybe we get into kind of a clipper situation with that cold air, and we start to get some more winter-like weather potential. Let's go into, let's check out a cold morning on the 18th. This is probably around the 20s right there. We know what that feels like. We're going to be low 20s tonight. Zoom back out here. We're going to go to the very farthest reaches of the GFS weather model, and the trough over the eastern United States continues, which would lead to below normal temperatures towards the end of the month as well, after maybe a brief warm-up 14th, 15th time frame. We'll continue. That'll be interesting to watch here, guys, as we look at the long-range data here, day by day, is if we continue to get that decent warm-up around the 14th and 15th. But as we saw right behind that, we could chill back down with another dive in the jet stream. So there you go. If you're tired of this tundra weather, we might break out of it as we go into middle of the month. I had a brain hiccup there. All right, Rita Harmon, hello. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. Thank you guys for dropping the comments, keeping me company here on a chilly Thursday morning. We got Gail Lemons. Thanks for tuning in here this morning, and the smiley emoji there. Orlean Whitlow. I hope it packs back and leaves and gets some sunshine. Orlean is tired of this winter weather, and I've always seen that in our region it is kind of half and half. I think it's just our being in the Ohio Valley, you got north and south, and half the people like cold weather, half the people like the warm weather. Beverly, happy early birthday on the 11th. So the 11th is next Thursday. It looks like it is today, basically. Looks a little bit chilly. And Vicky Berger says you can keep watching from YouTube. You can keep the cold up north. Marcus, are you loving this pattern, Ben? Sure. No, it is fun to have something to talk about. Winter weather, whether you like it or not, people pay a lot of attention to this kind of weather. All right. So that is long-range data. We looked at all the weather model data. It's 10:31. Let's do a forecast recap for those popping in a little bit later, and then we'll get moving right along here. All right, so let me back up these slides here for you. How about you, Marcus? Are you loving this pattern? There are some of you crazy people that love the winter weather. All right, here we go. And again, I want to thank you guys too. I posted this on Facebook yesterday. We've had over 2 million views over the last 28 days. So thanks for watching the content, whether it's our live stream or whether it's the graphics that I put out. And of course, we've got a lot of other social media channels and Xtol Media. We can help you out with marketing and advertising solutions. Or if you just have a weather question, just email me. Don't be shy. Ben@xtolmag.com. Okay, NWSB has a food drive going on until the 15th. You can drop off canned food, non-perishable items, snacks, dry cereals at any NWSB location. That is for REACH, food program for kids, and you don't have to be a member or anything like that. You can just pop in and drop them off. And then this Saturday, I'll be hosting the Jingle Bell Run, 9 a.m. There's time to sign up. A lot of folks dress in their holiday Christmas costumes. There's music playing. It's festive. There's booths. There's giveaways. Come on out, have a good time. 8 a.m. until 9 a.m. is the pre-race inside at Tom Sawyer Park, and then 9 a.m. is the race. So I'll be hosting that. This is the Angel Tree at Ivy Tech. This is right at Highway 311, I-65, exit 9 miles north of Louisville. If you pop in at Fowl Hall, that is PFAU, right in the entranceway, you'll see this tree. If you take a tag there, it is going to show you a child of a student at Ivy Tech, and it shows you their age, their gender, their clothing size, what they might need, and you can definitely find an easy way to help out there. And then once you get all that stuff, you're going to go back in there and go to Ivy Cares, and the receptionist will show you there. And then Ivy Cares is the program at Ivy Tech that helps out their students. So a way to give back there. Our weather headlines here for today: very cold, dry through Saturday, late Sunday, a little wintry mix possible. And we just talked about it. When can we warm up? Looks like maybe a mid-month warm up. Not this weekend, maybe next weekend. Our stupid weather jokes of the day. It's colder than me in brass shorts sitting on the shady side of an iceberg. And be careful looking that one up, because some of these get a little dirty. It's colder than skinny dipping in a snowstorm. It's cold as a polar bear's pajamas or a penguin's tuxedo. And it's colder than Rudolph's nose on a Christmas Eve. That would be cold. All right, our weather history for today. These are interesting. There were some tropical systems in 1887. We had a record high of 72 in 1998. Number 3, 2002, big winter storm and ice in the Carolinas. But that also impacted our area in 2002. A record cold high of 26 degrees on today's date. So it could be worse than today. We had 3.6 inches of snowfall, which is a record for today's date in 2002. Anybody remember that? And how many days until winter begins in 17 days? Thank you, Beverly. Christmas in 21 days, time change in 94, and spring in 106 days. Marcus loves the cold weather. Keep it going. I've been waiting for a long time for this. Yeah, we've had some mild winters for sure. So your forecast here for our Thursday, December the 4th, 32 degrees. Our high temperature might be some city spots that make it to around 33, 34. Trying for a peak of sunshine out there. North wind at around 5 to 10. And frigid tonight with a low of 22 degrees. So just very cold and cloudy with a light northeast breeze. Forecast tomorrow, 22 out the door, 30 at noon, 38 the high temperature. So we should be able to thaw out a little bit tomorrow afternoon. And then our 7-day forecast is quiet through much of the weekend. Might get that little light wintry mix. Should not be a big impact for us late Sunday. May just have to watch out for maybe a few slick spots early Monday morning. Other than that, another system could bring a little bit of a mix by the middle of next week, next Wednesday. But it is a tad warmer, 47 degrees by next Wednesday. So there you go. Look at the forecast. And Joseph Benningfield says, I remember as I was a child, the old folks call this up and down temperature pattern good pneumonia weather. My buddy Scott just got the flu, so it might be starting up, which I forgot. I have not got the flu shot yet. Yeah, usually I do. Robert Simpson, good morning. What are the odds of a white Christmas? We just had that question earlier, and I think the odds are better than normal. Normal odds are only 10% chance on any given year, but I think after a mid-month warm-up, we might get back into a winter-like pattern. So I'll say above that chance. There's some hope for sure. And before we take off here, a reminder, as I always like to do, that you've got all the weather resources that you'd ever need right here at xtolmag.com/weather. Live stream is up. Thanks for just hitting the like button if you're watching on Facebook, or hitting the subscribe on our YouTube channel. Love seeing those numbers go up too. So that really helps spread it throughout the social media algorithms. So thanks for that support there. Our temperature 31 degrees. You've got your daily forecast, hourly forecast there on the right side, 7-day forecast, the brand new weather story that I posted, and more maps and resources below, and an interactive map with dozens of layers. Orange circle in the upper right-hand corner. If you click on it, it's going to bring up dozens of weather layers. I was showing this earlier. This shows the snowpack, and you can see the rivers and creeks that don't have snow, but very cool with the visible satellite right there. Interactive map even further down with the area temperatures, which are hovering near freezing right now. And we have just a very light north breeze for today. Once again, I want to thank our partners here for allowing us to do what we do. Lyons Roofing, Lyons. Roofingco.com is where you can find more information, or you can just call them, 812-294-3595. They have personally helped my family, and they might be able to help yours too if you have any roofing issues. Watch out for any dry discolorings on your drywall and your ceiling. You might have an issue. If your gutters are not working good, you might want to give them a call as well. So they can help you out. They might help you work with your insurance and the communication and all that, and make that process easy for you. Definitely a company you can trust right here in our backyard on both sides of the river. And Ivy Tech Community College, as we talked, they've got the Angel Tree program going on right now, right there at Fowl Hall. And if you want to learn more information about registering for classes, maybe if you have a high schooler, let them know about dual credit. You can get free college education in high school, as my kids have done through Prosser. But you can also click on their programs here if you're interested, and it'll bring up the average salaries and what you can expect with that career. And, of course, a lot of resources here at ivytech.edu. And I want to thank my buddy Michael Long for dropping our monthly bills recently, because we got some discounts by adding some life insurance. We've got discounts with using the app, and we've got discounts with student discounts, which are needed when you have a high school driver. So call him, 812-578-3072, or head to amfam.com and search Michael Long. He's proud to be an American Star Certified Agency of Excellence in Customer Experience. So there you go. You learn a lot more information about the agency and what they have to offer right there. All right. Thank you guys for being here. One last traffic update with the Trimark. But a crash I-65 north at Crittenden Drive. So that's had things backed up here. If you're heading in from South Louisville, in from Bullitt County, it's slow going there past Eastern Parkway on 65 north of the airport. Reminds me of doing the traffic, my old traffic days back in the day. And Marcus wants a white Christmas as well. And Marcus remembers that 2002. Very nice. One last cheers to you guys before we wrap this up. And we'll leave it with Lillian's comment right here. Have a great day. Have a safe day, and keep that fire going. We've had the fire going for a week now since Thanksgiving, and it's continuing to roll on. So it's keeping us warm. I'll have to feed that fire here in a little bit. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Join me tomorrow morning, same time, 10 a.m., right here on my channel, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Xtol Weather on Facebook, Xtol Media on YouTube, xtolmag.com/weather on the World Wide Web. Stay warm out there, and we'll see you later.